Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. Successor to one of the best games ever made. Years of hype and years of delays. So much hype that by the time of release, most people completely ignored the fact that it was still in early access. Well, that is, until the new graphics wore off and people came to terms with the fact that the game still had a long way to go, and consequently, the mods that would make it the next best game ever made would also take several more years. Would you like that for an intro? Let's try again. Hello, my name is Terry, and if you don't already know who I am, well, for the past year I've been covering mods extensively, especially for Mountain Blade Warband and Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. However, covering mods for Bannerlord has been fairly difficult because of all the reasons I just mentioned, but recently I nonetheless decided to take a look at the new Bannerlord mods, see how stable they are, see how ambitious they are. And to be clear, there are some very ambitious mods right now that you can totally try out. I actually made several videos on them, make sure to check them out. However, this video is for people looking for a simpler modding experience. After all, big mods like the Realm of Thrones and the Old Realms are very good, but these mods are also very huge, they require a bit more finesse when it comes to installing them, and the quality of the experience varies wildly from player to player. But in actuality, the vast majority of mods for Bannerlord right now are actually very tiny mods that work a lot more like the mods you would find in Skyrim and Fallout. These sub-mods only change tiny amounts of the game, but it's by adding all of them together that you end up changing the experience completely. And so today I'm sharing 14 Bannerlord mods that will take your gaming experience to the next level. I hope this video inspires you to mod Bannerlord. However, if you're new to modding, fear not, because I made a complete guide on how to install mods on Bannerlord over a year ago. The link to that guide, as well as the links for all the mods mentioned, will be in the description down below. So if you find this video entertaining and this is all very good value for you, well, you can support me by subscribing to the channel. I work really hard on making these videos, but my channel is still not even remotely big enough to make this my full-time job. So go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and enjoy the video. So, let's start with a fairly valuable mod I discovered recently called the Warlord Pack. Warlord Pack is a mod that brings back a whole bunch of features from Warband. Noticeable among them, the notifications in battle. Instead of the casualty report on the top right corner with your own kills in the center, we're back to the tiny messages at the bottom left, which honestly just feels so much less intrusive. But that's not all, we got the old voice acting for bandits.
Your money or your life.
Deserters have also been reintroduced on the world map, and you can also attend feasts. Also, now everyone gets the same gear in tournaments, again, just like Warband. And it does make more sense in my opinion. The mod also reintroduced claimants to each kingdom with their own backstories. So essentially this mod brings back all the good stuff from Warband but doesn't replace anything else. So it's like the features of Warband added on top of Bannerlord, which brings a lot of variety. But speaking of bringing back Warband features, here's a mod directly inspired by our Warband sub-mod with the exact same name, Diplomacy. This mod adds a whole bunch of features, especially when it comes to kingdom management. The Diplomacy tab has been revamped, and you now have the option to make non-aggression pacts, or even ally with other factions, provided you meet the requirements. You can send messengers to other factions, you have the option to claim the thieves you just captured before it goes into elections, and there's tons of other stuff, many of which can be tweaked to your liking in the mod configuration menu. Diplomacy is an absolute must, the backbone for taking Bannerlord to the next level. Say you want to start a new game and you want the world map to be a bit more challenging, but also more rewarding, more fun, especially when it comes to bandits. For that, I combine 3 mods. Bandits Nation just add a crap ton of bandits and bandit lairs on the world map, and lairs especially will be like fortresses. Lairs will often have 30 to 60 bandits, and the bandit boss will bring anywhere from 60 to 600 bandits with him. This makes lairs proportionally much more rewarding, with lots of money and loot as the reward. Daytime Assault lets you attack lairs at any time of the day, and just look at the scenery. Isn't it lovely? Why the base game limits lair assaults to nighttime is seriously depressing. Attacking during the day is just so much better, so much more refreshing. And yeah, since you'll enjoy taking out lairs with way more bandits in them, you might as well get the Bandit Kills Raise Relation sub-mod, which increase your relations with local nobles, whether you kill bandits in lairs or in the field. It's very passive, but you'll be glad you have it when it's time to recruit peasants. Speaking of recruiting, Elite Recruits in Castles is another fun sub-mod to have. With this one, it makes villages basically just offer low-tier troops, while elite troops have to be recruited in castles. Simple enough, but it makes recruiting either type more accessible by virtue of knowing where to get each troop tier. Regardless of where you get your troops, another very useful mod to get is Train Your Troops. With this mod, you can go to any town arena and there's an option to train your troops. As you do, some will get wounded in the process, but it's an excellent way of leveling up your troops without risking them in battle. It's especially useful when you're raising a new army from scratch and you're expecting to get into some serious action. You can also tweak the mod in the configuration menu to increase the XP gain from training, and you can even disable the troops getting wounded completely. So you could really just use this mod to cheat and get all your troops to elite tier almost right away. But next up, let's do some kingdom management. Improved Garrison is a must-have that I mentioned several times in previous videos. Essentially, it's an extra window that basically lets you manage all of your settlements from anywhere at once. You can set tax policy, which building to build, but you can do even more. You can ask settlements to go around recruiting troops for you, as well as require that they be trained in specific departments like infantry or archers. You can also set patrols, and you can choose whether these patrols can buy their own supplies like horses, if they can sell their prisoners, stuff like that. Overall, I can't live without its mod anymore. What else we got? Well, let's talk about battles. Nemesis is a mod that brings lords to life. In battle, you will now spot them when they start insulting you. That's pretty much it, though their attitude is also affected by their relationship with you. It's a nice little mod to make lords stand out of the crowd, essentially. Life Dismemberment is also a really cool mod. There's nothing more badass than cutting off limbs and heads in the middle of battle, with a slow motion effect to boot.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool that Bannerlord added, banners that your troops carry in battle. But the options for banners themselves are limited, so get CC's banners for way more options. Look at me, now my faction is the Imperium of Man. Do you feel character options when starting a game are a bit limited? Get yourself detailed character creation. It adds a bunch of customization options, including starting as a child if that's your thing. The mod also gives you the option to edit companions and lords to your personal preference, which is also cool. Now, if you're looking for something more, let's say naughty, you can also get hot butter. Besides adding explicit content, which, God's honest truth, I don't care about, the main reason I recommend it is because it adds more options to increase party morale by, getting some ladies for your troops to comfort them in times of war. And finally, the main mod, my favorite, the one that I always have no matter what, is Bannerlord Cheats. I already covered it before, but basically this mod adds an entire section in the mod menu to tweak basically anything to your liking. Do you want to be invincible? Maybe you're just trying to avoid the grind of leveling up by increasing the speed at which you learn new skills. Maybe you want to craft amazing swords by unlocking all of the parts. Or you want people to agree with you all the time. Or you want a warband party size of 10,000. Or you just want to be gay. Basically, all the cheats you could think of, this mod will make them happen for you. So, enjoy. And so, these were the 14 mods I had for you today. Quick honorable mention though, there's this new mod called Cinematic Combat, which basically adds kill moves and other fighting animations to battle, and it looks pretty cool. The problem is I could not get it to run on the current version of Bannerlord, but it's still worth looking into. But besides that, that's pretty much it for today. So as I've said at the beginning, if you enjoyed the video and you want to help me make this my full-time job, then, please, I need money. Bye.